Hi everyone, Epigenic Gaming here, bringing you a quick and comprehensive overview of what gear you should be getting and what stats you should be looking out for your Legion Shadow Priest. Now this whole video is made possible by Twintop, who is one of the theory crafters over at howtopriest.com, and a massive shout out to the amount of effort he is put into simulating Shadow Priest DPS in early Legion stages. Now the results of these simulations are available at howtopriest.com, and I'll put a link in the description below to his forum post. Now these simulations have indicated what the stat weights are for Legion Priest and our stat priority, and I'll be using this, or I have used this, to come up with the best in slot list in Emerald Nightmare. So the simulations done had a few constraining factors though, and I feel obliged to talk about them a little bit before we go into the best in slot list and our stat weights. So the profile used for the simulations had all three major artifact traits, so that means that 24 out of 34 total artifact traits have been used for the simulations, but they did not include the Voidbolt and the Shadow at Death trait nodes. All simulations were done with a character with a general item level of 865, and no crafted items were used, and no legendary were used. It was only done with raid drops. The race was used for these simulations was Troll, but it didn't use Berserking, so it's just to provide a more neutral baseline. And they used Warders of Dreno intellect potions instead of Legion DPS potions, since that data is not available yet, but it shouldn't have a very high impact on talent and stat weight results. Another thing that Twintop noted was that since Auspicious Spirits dominated the level 75 talent row in such a crazy fashion, that it increased the crit value significantly, while haste drops dramatically for people using Surrender to Madness and for those who don't, but in combination with Reaper of Souls. So if you use Reaper of Souls as your level 60 talent, your haste will drop, your haste stat weight will drop significantly, but it jumps up stupidly high when you use Void Lord instead of Reaper of Souls. Now there were two different set of stat weights. One where the player uses Surrender to Madness, and one where the people or the simulations were using Lord of the Void and Mind Spike. Now for Surrender to Madness, our baseline intellect is always 1. Our crit had a stat weight of 1.34, haste had 1.11, mastery had 1.09, and versatility had 0.91. Now for Lord of the Void and Mind Spike, our intellect is again 1. Our crit is 1.20, haste 1.18, mastery is 1 flat, and versatility is 0.96. Now, in order to give a more comprehensive overview of the items in Emerald Nightmare, there's also a combined stat weight list, and I'll be using that primarily to get the best in slot gear from Emerald Nightmare. So intellect will be 1, crit would be 1.24, haste 1.70, mastery 1.03, and versatility 0.91. Now using these stat weights, I calculated, or my calculations for the best in slot items from Emerald Nightmare were as followed. For our headpiece we want the Hood of Darkened Visions from Xavius. For our neck we'll want the Blackened Portalstone necklace from Xavius as well. Our shoulders will be the Mantle of Perpetual Bloom from Cenarius. The back is Gossamer-Spun Greatcloak from Elerethe Renferal. Our chest will be the Maddening Robe of Secrets from Xavius. Our wrist will be the Cinch of Cosmic Insignificance from Elerethe, Heart of Corruption. Hands will be the Handwraps of Delusional Power from Dragons of Nightmare. The waist will be the Pliable Spider Silk Cinch from Elerethe Renferal. The legs will be the Ragged Horrorweave Leggings from Elerethe Renferal. The boots will be the Crimson Wool-lined Slippers from Ursoc. Our first ring will be the twice warped Azsharan Signet from Xavius. The second ring will be the Grubby Silver Ring from Nythendra. And our trinkets will be the Unstable Horrorslime from Dragons of Nightmare and the Wriggling Sinew from Elerethe, Heart of Corruption. So that is our best in slot list from Emerald Nightmare. However, since we do know the stat weight or the statistics on the items of Nighthold, we can take a quick look at what items you'll be replacing as soon as Nighthold comes out. Do note that this is not an end-all be-all best in slot list. in total, since Nighthold will have far higher mythic level gear drops. However, it is important to know that the item level drops from Heroic Emerald Nightmare are about the same as the normal drops from Nighthold, and that the mythic Emerald Nightmare drops are about the same item level as Heroic Nighthold. So in this transition phase that most people will go through, most people will either go from Heroic Emerald Nightmare to normal Nighthold, or from Mythic Emerald Nightmare to Heroic Nighthold. These are the first items you'll want to change. So there are in total 6 items that you want to replace, disregarding any tier sets and everything, since that's not really possible to calculate as of yet. So these 6 items are boots, cloak, hands, legs, and ring, which are 5 items, not 6, I'm sorry. So we'll want to change our Crimson Wool-lined slippers to the Threads of Galactic Odyssey that drop from Star Augur Atreus, our Gossamer-Spun Greatcloak to the Cloak of Temporal Recalibration that drops from both Alessandra and the Expedient Elemental. Our hands will be the Scorpid Handless Gloves from Scorpion instead of the Handwraps of Delusional Power. Our legs, the Ragged Horrorweave Leggings to the Purifier Leggings from Gul'dan, and we'll change the Grubby Silver Ring to Spellblade's Gem Signet from Talon. Now that is pretty much everything I can say about Legion Shadowpriest gearing as of yet. As I said before, I won't immediately make an assumption of the best in slot gear within Nighthold, since that is still prone to change. However, there is the basic guideline, of course. If you go from Emerald Nightmare to normal Nighthold, and from normal Nighthold to Heroic Nighthold gear will always be better than everything previous to that point, and the same goes for, well, Mythic Nighthold, obviously. Anyway, I'll make an updated video and guide when the Nighthold information is due, and the stat weights and the gear weight of the Nighthold gear is actually available. However, for that, I do hope you found this video in any way useful for your Emerald Nightmare gearing process. So if you did like the video, please take a little bit out of your time to check out my channel, and if you want, leave a like and subscribe, and if you didn't, be sure to hit that dislike button. Anyway, I do hope I sincerely see you all in the next video, and this was Epigenic Gaming, and I'm out.